Hello PC lovers and PC enthusiasts, Dario from PC Crazy here, and we're currently at colorful booth at Computex 2024, checking it out and see what they have because they have loads of cool products. Well, let's go inside and check everything out. So right here at the start we have the Neptune PC build, which is already pre-assembled in terms of liquid cooled CPU. As you can see, the GPU also goes in the same way. And the cool thing about it, it looks like one whole when we're talking about the design and everything all together. It's really nicely designed, cool aesthetics, really clean looks, and it's just really impressive when you take everything all in consideration. The radiator is on the side, everything is pre-connected. You just have to turn it on and have an outstanding PC. Now right here we have the iGame Neptune series of GPU, and the cool thing about this card is depending on the vertical or horizontal position you can adjust the screen to that position basically. It's really easy, magnetically attachable. You have already connections on the side, so you just basically flip the screen, which gives you an option to adjust it, and it is pretty heavy. I do have to admit, this is a quite nice card when we're talking about visual aspects. Definitely, I have no concerns when we're talking about the cooling right here, because as you can see, passive heatsink is really chunky, and without a doubt. Then we have an interesting box, because this is some sort of special edition. You can check it out here, because we're talking here about iGame GeForce RTX 4090 Lab OC, and it really comes in a specific box with a really interesting design. Now this PC right here that you see, this is a quite interesting concept in terms of showing off your products, let's put it this way. But on front we have that GPU that I mentioned, Lab OC, which comes with a specifically designed water block that has the backplate additionally, and of course they have their power supply as well here. But this is the block, and it's definitely interesting because as you can see, the fittings are on the far right side. They don't go in front or the side. Nicely designed when we're talking about the copper base, the additional contact for the parts that need to be cooled on the GPU, and we have the lab backplate, which is nice and sturdy to keep the whole block, let's say, not sagging in those terms. This is the GPU that is specifically designed for that water block, or basically water block is specifically designed for this GPU. And yeah, quite interesting build, I do have to admit. Now let's move forward. Here we have the colorful iGame Ultra build, which can be bought like this as a pre-build, or if you desire to go with, you can go and buy individual products, so motherboard, keyboard, power supply, graphic card, case, and everything all together, of course. Now, what we have right here is, for instance, we have memory iGame 16 gigs, 2 times 6800 megahertz Ultra W. Then we have the motherboard, which is iGame Z790DS Ultra. Graphic card is iGame GeForce RTX 4080 Super Ultra W OC 16 gigs. And basically you can see the rest. I mean, quite interesting that you could choose either a pre-built, which is really nicely done, or you could buy the individual products as you desire. But that's not all, because if you go next to the next part, we have the colorful iGame VULCAN. Now this is their premium lineup, and the same thing happens with this one. You can go either with a pre-built, which honestly, this looks nothing like a pre-built that we're used to, and then you can individually buy the components, the same thing that we did with the iGame Ultra. So here we have motherboard, AIO, GPU, RAMs, keyboard even, and this is a cool thing. I mean, this is really nice. Somebody wants an ultra high-end build, or they want something specific when we're talking about visual aspect, but they don't know how to build. You go with a pre-built and get this. Or for some experienced users, you can get the same thing, but you'll buy that individually and just enjoy the whole building process. The build looks outstanding. You would never consider it to be a pre-built, and as you can see, the case is even something else, because you don't see this type of case on the market regularly. But what this case does is when you check the stands, the legs of the case, and all the other parts that you might think it's plastic. It's not. They're made out of aluminum, and wow, what a quality. I mean, this is just outstanding. Every single bit of this case is nicely crafted and it looks outstanding. Now, for you guys that don't have that much space, we have the colorful Mini, which is a small form factor case that's specifically designed for the GPU, motherboard, power supply, and everything all together, which is kind of cool. Nice touch, definitely, with that colorful tag on the side, and you have that on the graphic card on the side as well, which is quite nice. I do have to admit that. But then we have the Mini ITX motherboard, you have the power supply, and you have the smaller cooler, which will be possible to fit inside that case. And furthermore, we have more components, of course, because they do have loads of cool stuff in general. But iGame Ultra Z series, we're talking here about iGame B760M Ultra Z D5 V20, iGame GeForce RTX 4060 Ti Ultra Z OC 16GB, and iGame DDR5 16GB 680 MHz 2x, of course, Ultra W. Outstanding design, outstanding looks. I mean, you can't argue with the design because colorful really does the job here quite precisely. Then we have a special edition. This is a long edition series. We have the iGame DDR5 6800 MHz 2x 16 gigs long edition. We have the iGame Z790 D5 long edition V20. I mean, this motherboard looks outstanding. White and gold, perfect combination in my opinion. White PCB board just blends in perfectly with the whole color scheme. And iGame GeForce RTX 4080 Super Long Edition 16 gigs. No questions asked. This is definitely one of my favorite things on this boot. Now, these laptops are definitely something that you would think as a premium lineup in terms of performance, high-end components, and will just simply get the job done when we're talking about everything put together. Next up is the colorful Evolve X16 Pro, which is a bit smaller version, but still can pack a punch quite nicely with the specs that it has. So we were talking about AI laptops, and here they are. We're talking about 13th generation of i9 processors, 13900H. We have the RTX 4070 and NVMe PCI Gen 4x4 1TB, and the LPDDR5 6400 megahertz. Now, this laptop is, as you can see, in the AI era, preparing for everything that we're actually going through. And we have two versions. We have the light blue, and kind of reminds us of a MacBook Pro a bit, but I like the slick and clean design right here. Now, right next to it, we have three new motherboards. We're talking about CVM B650M Gaming Frozen V14 or 1.4. I don't know, that's actually, it says here 14. So yeah, we have iGame Z790S Vulcan WV20 and CVN Z790 D5 Arc Frozen V20. As you can see, all motherboards. This is actually the same version that we were talking about earlier with the black one with the Vulcan whole PC that you could build up and do everything all together. So basically, all in all, what we were saying and talking through the colorful boot, you saw loads of cool stuff. GPUs, RTX 4090s, insane PC builds that can be pre-built, or you could build them yourself. Cool laptops, gaming, business, AI, whatever I mentioned, you already saw. And pre-built, it's not an actual pre-built, but a quite interesting case that has pulling for your GPU, for your CPU, already built inside, and hides the motherboard. Somehow hides the motherboard. That's all for today, guys. Check you later with new boot coverages. Thanks. Bye-bye.